They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Welcome, one and all, to SlashLot.
Whoa.
I am one of your hosts, Sam the Damned Lens. I'm joined today, as always, by Blakenstein Ginnathan. How are
What
you
up? Ooh.
And Casey the Killer Kelderman.
I just realized I need to make a new intro for the show because it still says SlashLot 605.
Oh,
We are disowning the 605 from this name.
Yeah,
Even though we are in
We are in the
605.
605.
we are in the 605, but the SlashLot is for all.
Yes.
Yeah,
That should be our motto. SlashLot is for all.
SlashLot is for all.
Hashtag SlashLot is for all.
Gotta slash them all. No?
Yes, I like it.
Slash tag.
What are we talking about today, guys?
Pokemon, apparently.
Pokemon, yeah.
Pitch a Pokemon horror movie. That actually would be an awesome topic.
I would
and
just run reruns.
I think we should just focus on that in the future. Guys, I think
Guys, it was nice knowing you.
we have a green background. St. Patty's Day is behind us now, but I like to celebrate it this entire month. And
Yeah.
should we go into a St. Patty's Day themed movie this week, this month, this episode, whatever we do?
I think we should. I think the only thing you can talk about in March regarding horror is the Leprechaun franchise, right? Right?
It's just like My Bloody Valentine in February. We're very unoriginal. We have to discuss the topical movie for each month. Fully expect Michael Myers to be discussed in October.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It should just be Warwick Davis Appreciation Month, I think.
Yes.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. What we're gonna do, this kind of ties into the main theme of Backlot this month, is each one of us are going to be pitching a Leprechaun versus movie.
Woo!
We are going to pick another horror movie or icon and pit Leprechaun against that horror villain.
I picked the icon to go against.
I'm excited. I have no.
I'm very excited.
I think I remember Sam's what he threw out there. I have no idea what Blake's is. I'm very
It's gonna be
very excited.
It's
for
good.
this.
You guys are gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh.
Good.
I'm very excited.
I kind of forgot that this was tying into what we were doing on Backlot, honestly, because I was just so excited when we were doing Freddy versus Jason. I'm like, oh, we should do a Leprechaun versus, because we were thinking of maybe doing this series. I'm like, I'm not watching this whole series before this.
Yeah.
I meant to watch the first movie and I made it 10 minutes and I couldn't do it anymore. Just wasn't in the mood for it.
I watched 1 and 2, and I'll get into my thoughts when we dig into our fresh meat.
Fresh meat.
Later in this episode, we are going to continue with our new fan slash segment, and we are going to be fan slashing Will Smith into a horror movie of our choosing.
We're taking it back to the wild, wild west for this.
Oh God,
The Wiki Wild West.
horror's getting a Big Willie style makeover.
And this is I like how it came about organically last time. We were talking Zac Efron, what movies Dad Efron should be in, and somehow I don't remember why we talked about Will Smith in that episode, but he came up and we're like, all right, let's do a fan slashing of Big Willie style, and here we are. I fully expect our next one to randomly pop up in this episode too.
Yeah, probably. So
Pick a fan slash Blake in a horror movie.
I'll do it. Yeah, let's do it.
fan slash Blake in a horror movie.
I'm a dad. I can be thrown into a
It's
movie
Bobby
or something.
Cannavale and any
Yeah.
Who plays his older brother.
Yeah. Or like some sort of like evil twin. Like he's my evil twin.
I'm pitching a Hardy Boy mystery with you and Bobby Cavanaugh.
Do you guys remember the Hardy Boys movie they kind of announced like 10 years ago where it was Tom Cruise and Ben Stiller were going to be the Hardy Boys?
No.
What?
What?
Yeah.
Why did that never get made?
Yeah, I don't know. But so like when Tom Cruise made Mission Impossible 2, they did a joke MTV Movie Awards thing where Ben Stiller was his stunt double.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And because people love that, they sort of like, these guys should be in a movie together, and the Hardy Boys was one of the things they were throwing around was for them to do.
Oh,
And it's
And
such a random title to throw those two into.
It'd be like Well, I think there's always going to be
them
a
as an
Hardy's boy.
adult, maybe.
Well, no, it was going to be something sort of like Starsky and Hutch, where it was the Hardy Boys, but it was actually like it was also poking fun at the Hardy Boys. So I really wish that would have happened because that'd have been so funny.
I read hard for Starsky and Hutch, and when you said Hardy Boys with those two, I was like, yeah. That sounds like it would be about as much fun as Starsky and Hutch was.
Yeah. Can you imagine like Tom Cruise in a comedy like that where it's just gags and
I think him and Ben Stiller would hit it up. Like I think he understands Ben Stiller's humor enough that he could get along with it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean they worked really well together in Tropic Thunder.
Mhm.
So
I would assume Ben Stiller would have been directing or maybe at least writing this.
I don't know what it was, but yeah.
Ben Stiller fan slashing?
I was about to say, I think we just found our next fan slash.
Can't be as scary as Zoolander 2, but we'll try.
Should we make it ultra interesting and cast both Ben Stiller and Tom Cruise in the same movie?
Yes.
My dick just got hard. Let's do it.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm already
I
stoked
like
for
it.
the next fan slash.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's cool.
Spoilers, I'm doing the Hardy Boys.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, guys.
Fuck this episode. Let's just do that fan slashing right now. I want it so bad.
I want to make sure I get a good one, though. I need a whole month to think this over.
It's a very important thing to think about. Sam's going to be sitting at work when he's supposed to be working with kids at school. He's just like, guys, what movie would you guys like to see with Tom Cruise and Ben Stiller?
Timmy.
And they're going to be like, who's Tom Cruise and Ben Stiller?
Who's Tom Cruise?
The Mission Impossible guy. What's Mission Impossible? Oh, my God. No, seriously, these kids don't know anything about movies. It's all TikTok videos with them. It's crazy. It's disheartening.
It's the worst.
Although one kid asked me if I had seen Hatchet. And then I geeked out with him for about a whole 10 minutes before I'm like, I probably shouldn't be talking to an 11-year-old about Hatchet at school.
As much as I would love to do that, I'd be like, yeah, listen, kid, you could get me into trouble with this.
Gray area. I mean, we weren't like getting into like gross stuff or anything. It was just more like the movie's awesome. But it was like,
here's a list of 300 other movies you should watch.
I know. I have to be careful because sometimes I will be like, oh, you should wait. No, adult.
If you liked Hatchet, you guys should watch Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Boy. You liked Hatchet. Boy, do I have a series for you. It's called Hostel.
If you liked Sleepaway Camp, you should watch Pitch Perfect 3. Or is it 2 where they go to camp? I don't remember.
They go to camp?
One of them, they go to like some sort of like team building camp or something.
I say I don't remember. I only watched half of the first one before I turned it off. I was like, no, not for me.
I actually like I've only seen the first 2. I actually kind of like the Pitch Perfect movies. They're not bad.
Yeah. They're not for me. That's all I'll say.
Maybe that's the nicest thing I can say about them. They're not bad.
Okay.
Well, guys.
So I think we're beating around the bush, or we're beating around the meat. That sounds gross, but let's get on.
They said the same thing at the end of Sleepaway Camp too.
Beating around the meat. I don't think they did. I think they just threw all the meat out on the screen.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it's true.
Should we get into it, Sam?
We should get into it. We should get into fresh meat.
Fresh meat.
I can go first. I don't have very many.
Yeah, I want to hear your garbage movies you saw.
I rewatched Love and Monsters. Not
Academy Award nominated Love and Monsters.
Academy Award nominated Love and Monsters. And I can't recommend that movie enough, guys. It is a lot of fun. I actually rewatched it because Jameson had watched it recently and was like super into it, and then him and Andy were geeking out about it on the Slack channel. I'm like, I should rewatch that. I really liked it, and I liked it even more a second time around. I got to be honest, it's solid. I like it. Dylan O'Brien is pretty darn great in it. I also watched Leprechaun and Leprechaun 2, and I totally get why Blake turned it off after about 20 minutes. But God, I love these movies, guys. Back to the Hood was actually one of the first. It was that and Freddy vs. Jason were the first 2 horror movies that I ever saw over at a friend's house one night. Back to the Hood scared the hell out of me. It did. I mean, I laughed through it, but it still scared me. Like I was a weenie back then.
This is the second time I've heard this story. And now hearing it again, I'm like, oh, this explains so much about Sam's taste in horror movies.
Yeah, it really does, because I watched it again, like, I don't know, after I graduated high school, and I loved it. And so I went and I just watched like all of the Leprechaun movies, and they're all bad, guys. They're all bad, but I love this. I love this series. I was so excited when we were pitching a Leprechaun versus movie, just because I love Warwick Davis in this role. These movies are bad. Jennifer Aniston, it's very clear that this was like one of her very first acting roles in the first one. But you know, the kid with the slingshot at the end, fuck you, Lucky Charms. Like, oh my God, like this franchise just gets me. It really does.
It's right up there with Jaws' "Smile, you son of a bitch" is one of the greatest one-liners to end a movie.
Yeah, it really is. I love it. These movies, I have to watch at least one of them around every St. Patty's Day. And so I was really, really excited. They were 20, the whole series was $20 on Vudu. So of course I went and I picked it up, even though they're all streaming on Peacock. I was like, no, I want to finally bite the bullet and own these. $20, 8 movies. You can't beat that deal. So. And then the other one, I know, Casey, you watched that either last night or this morning. The other one that I watched was the new Shudder movie, Slacks, which I know you only gave this 3 stars. I loved Slacks. Slacks is essentially this movie about a retail store that totes, you know, non-GMO, fair trade, all this kind of stuff. It's like making a better tomorrow today is their slogan. And this girl comes onto this team. It's her first night. They're getting ready to launch this new line of jeans. And one of the pairs of pants ends up becoming sentient and killing people in this store while they're in lockdown.
It's a slasher movie with a hipster pair of jeans.
Yeah. It's very much, I feel like this is somewhat of a spiritual sequel to Chopping Mall, which might explain why I like it so much. It's very interesting. There's some good gore in it. It's funny, and it's 77 minutes. It does not wear out its welcome. More movies need to be that short. It's a ball of laughs. I really enjoyed it. And it was even funnier because I literally spent all day yesterday shopping for jeans. And then I came home and I put that movie on. And I had a stack of jeans sitting on, like, new jeans sitting on my couch that I was just, like, looking over at the entire time I was watching it. Just like, they gonna move or am I gonna move? Like, it was just, I don't know. It was the right movie, right time. I love this movie. I highly recommend it. It's streaming on Shudder. I don't think it's the best Shudder original, but it might be one of my favorite Shudder originals to come out of here. It goes for some like social commentary that doesn't quite land, but
yeah,
it has enough fun along the way to where I thoroughly enjoyed it, even if it doesn't quite nail it in the social commentary area.
Yeah, is that it for your fresh meat? Because then I'll kind of just segue. I'll segue into mine because I watched that too. I actually watched it this morning as we're recording, and I didn't have as much fun as you did. I think it is a fun movie though. Like you said, it's 77 minutes long. Like, yes, please give me more less than 90-minute long movies. Like, give me more of that. And I mean, yeah, it's a movie about a killer pair of pants. Like, it has fun with the premise, but then I do think the social commentary stuff is like, I didn't need that. The premise alone is why I want to watch this. Like, I would rather just watch it straight up. Like, we don't know why the pair of pants is haunted or become sentient. Like, I'd be fine with that. And just having like this group of kids that work at this douchey retail store have to fight a pair of pants. And then we get a final girl moment where she like lights them on fire or something, like, to get rid of. I don't know. But there's a self-serious ending to it that I'm like, like, you're a movie about a killer pair of pants. We don't need to make this type of comment here. But I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's worth a watch, especially at 77 minutes long. It's a fun movie to watch. Fun, like, late night movie. I wish I would have watched it late at night instead of with my breakfast cereal. But, you know, nonetheless, I think it is worth a watch.
And it's very relatable if you've ever worked in retail. Would you agree?
I would say that my Letterboxd review is pretty accurate to what I thought while watching it. It's the most unbelievable aspect about a movie about a killer pair of pants is that people are lining up to get into a store in the mall.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen In Fabric?
I have not. No.
Not yet.
Yeah, I mean, this sounds a lot like that. It's about a killer dress. That's gonna be a lot more style. Have you guys seen Barbarian Sound Studio? No. Okay. It's the same filmmaker. He makes really very stylized horror movies. And anyway, this movie reminds me a lot of that, like this killer dress that haunts people and kills them and stuff like that. So it'd be a cool double feature to do like that and then this and see how.
And then Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
See how different they are. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool.
The other ones I watched a lot of Shudder stuff. I'm trying to catch up on their new stuff from this year. I might be caught up. I don't know. But I watched Stay Out of the Effing Attic or Stay Out of the Attic. It's fine. I think people who love like that early 2000s Eli Roth style aesthetic, like Hostel or Cabin Fever or those, the early Rob Zombie or any Rob Zombie movie with that type of gore and exploitation are going to love this. So if you're into that style, you're going to dig this. I'm not in love with like Hostel or House of a Thousand Corpses, that type of horror movie, but this movie is basically about this moving company that hires ex-convicts to work for them, and they end up at this creepy old house where there's creepy old German dude who basically hires them, says don't go in the attic or in the basement, move everything else in my house out of here. We later find out that he is a Nazi and has been prolonging his life by doing experiments on people who come to his house, and it's also revealed that the main person who owns this moving company, he's kind of trying to revitalize his life. He's an ex-convict. He just got he got out of prison, started his own business, has hired other convicts to work for him. Turns out he was a neo-Nazi in prison, and so he has this sort of connection to the German Nazi, even though he's trying to rework his own life and find a new path. He said it's said by the character that he's trying to, or the reason he joined, being a Nazi in prison is that it was a survival technique that he used a gang to align himself with. But then that's sort of revealed to not be the truth too, but we're also supposed to root for this guy. I don't know. It's very convoluted who we're supposed to kind of root for in this. And unfortunately it makes the mistake of killing characters I would rather root for than the guy that's a neo-Nazi. But I think it has really good gore effects. It doesn't use the haunted house nearly enough. Like I thought going into I didn't know it was a Nazi exploitation movie going into it.
I had no idea.
Sorry, Sam.
No, that's okay. I don't know.
I thought it was more of a haunted house type of movie, and maybe like maybe people under the stairs type of thing, like something's in the attic, which it sort of is, but it doesn't explore that near enough. It's more of the Nazi exploitation type of movie.
That makes me a little less excited to see it, to be honest. Yeah,
I'm not too hot on it, but again, I think it's 80 minutes long.
Yeah.
And so when I pop that on one night, I'm like, 80 minutes, sweet. I can watch this before I go to bed. That's no problem.
Yeah. Oh, I'll definitely still watch it. Yeah.
Another new one I watched was Hunted on Shudder. This is about a woman who oversees. It's basically Red Riding Hood, but set within like modern times, and it's about a predator instead of a wolf, and how she becomes basically seduced by this guy, ends up in this cat and mouse game with him for this entire runtime. Again, doesn't totally work with its premise, has a lot of off-kilter humor spread throughout that with its serious tone, I don't know if it totally works. And unfortunately, like if I'm in a movie where it's kind of it's about this guy who this villain in this movie is the most unlikable dude. Unlikable dude ever. He videotapes all of his victims and basically plays games with them before they die. And yeah, he's just the scum of the earth type of human being. I'm like, okay, that's fine. as long as our main character, we get some character development from, and she can just brutally beat the shit out of this guy and triumph at the end. Unfortunately, we don't know anything about her. And by the second half of the movie, I don't know if she has a single line besides screaming and yelling at this guy. It's very, very strange. Like, I wish I would have had a little character development with her and getting us on her side even more, because you're not ever really on her side besides that this guy is just the worst human being that's ever lived. So again, a slight recommend if you were interested, like watching the trailer or reading the premise. Like, it's not a bad movie, just didn't totally work for me. But the Shudder movie that did work for me is The Queen of Black Magic. And holy shit, this movie rules. This is from the writer of, I think last year, 2 years ago, maybe, another Shudder movie, Satan's Slaves, which is an Indonesian horror movie. Yeah, that's, I think I said it to you guys. We should do an Indonesian horror movie episode. Yeah, that is something we need to do, because this movie is genuinely scary, has tons of characters you like and want to survive and want to know more about. And yeah, the scares are generally scary. The premise is basically this group who grew up in this kind of group home in this orphanage are going back because the man who ran it is on his deathbed. He's about to die, and they're basically all coming back together one more time to see him hang out and meet each other's families after 20 years of being away. And the orphanage is still running, and we find out that there's this urban legend of this woman who basically was practicing black magic and converting some of the kids to black magic to kill the head person at the orphanage. And the way the story is conveyed to a young character who is very interested in this, like, in the mystery aspect of it, like, he's this Curious George type of character, wants to learn more, explores the rooms he's not supposed to explore, wants to hear every scary story he can. They give him a videotape of, like, oh, you're not supposed to watch this. This is really scary. This is what this is footage of that woman we were talking to you about. Yet he pops it in anyway and wants to watch it. Like, he's totally a Curious George type of character. And yeah, he's a ton of fun to have in this. And yeah, I highly recommend this movie. Very, very tense, very scary. Has great gore effects in this too. Yeah, high recommend for The Queen of Black Magic.
Nice.
Yeah. And then another one that deals in Nazi exploitation that I totally dug was a movie from few years ago, I believe, also on Shudder. Not a Shudder original, I don't think.
Oh God, yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, 2019 Blood Vessel. So I had never heard of it, didn't know anything about the premise. I literally saw the image that was on Shudder, and I was like, Blood Vessel. All right, I'm watching this. No idea what the concept was. Was totally blown away by this. This, like, if I was ever going to make a movie, they already made it because it's called Blood Vessel. And it's basically about this group of World War II survivors that are on this lifeboat. They end up on a German ship that's out on sea that's been abandoned. And they basically find some of the German soldiers out there just totally mutilated, blood completely gone from their bodies. Everything, basically everything that could have gone wrong with this crew has gone wrong. And so they're like, we're going to hang out on the ship till we can get, survive, someone can come pick us up and get us off the ship. But they soon realized that, again, like great Nazi exploitation movies, they were dealing with the occult and things they shouldn't have been dealing with. In this case is vampires.
Oh my God, that's cool.
And I'll leave it at that. It's a Nazi exploitation movie set entirely on this Nazi ship with vampires.
Would you say this pairs well with Overlord? Because I love Overlord.
I still need to watch Overlord. I still
God.
haven't seen it. I know I would love it.
We should do a theater room night where we do Blood Vessel and Overlord.
I'm in. I'm totally in.
That would be dope.
I'm more in for that than I am at the Snyder Cut. So
both of those together are probably still an hour shorter than the Snyder Cut.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys out there haven't watched it, Blood Vessel, totally recommend. Like I said, if I was ever going to make a movie, it would be Blood Vessel. Like, that's the type of movie I would want to make.
That's awesome.
That sounds really cool. That kind of reminds me of that movie you watched. Is it like Island or Isle of the Dead or something?
Yeah, Isle of the Dead. Yeah,
that it kind of, a little bit. Not obviously that's a
because
different
it's
plot,
set in World War II.
Wasn't there vampires in there? Or is it zombies or?
It's a vampire.
Okay, yeah.
Like, and they never. I don't know if they ever explicitly say it's a vampire, but I mean it's very clear that they're talking.
Sorry, I have a bad habit.
No, you're good. I'm shedding like crazy lately, so no, it's really cool. And it's getting I think it's one of the Warner Brothers movies that's getting a big 4K release.
I think so. I remember seeing that.
Gonna have to check that out.
I'm pretty sure that with that, it's coming to Shudder later this month. I think I saw that on one of my Shudder emails.
I think you're right on one or both of those.
I'm gonna have to check. I think
you're right on both.
That sounds super cool.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I like it a lot. It's very atmospheric, very Boris Karloff is just incredible in it. So
I need to do more Karloff outside of Frankenstein.
I just a little off topic here. I was at Last Stop about a week ago, and I found a pack of 5 Boris Karloff movies, and the only one I'd heard of so far, like at that point, was Tower of Terror, and I haven't seen any of them. And I picked it up because it was only like $10, and it was 5 Boris Karloff movies. I'm very excited. Very excited to check that out.
That's cool.
The last couple I got on here, I watched the Ghost Adventures little mini series, not really mini series, but this special event that they did. I think last episode, the episode before, me and Sam talked about the Cecil Hotel documentary. Ghost Adventures actually did a full episode, 2-part episode there, so like a 2-hour event at the Cecil Hotel. This is definitely more of like the stuff like I knew of the Cecil Hotel beforehand. Like this is straight up, oh, there's spooky shit going on in this hotel. We need to investigate. And Zach Bagans and friends are there. I'm like, all right, I'm in. Sure. I love Ghost Adventures. This is a fun 2-hour event that they did in the Cecil Hotel. Apparently the first ghost crew that's ever been in there is what they said during this. And I mean, for me, this feels like whoever now owns the Cecil Hotel with the Netflix documentary with this Ghost Adventure special, they're like, well, people know this shit's haunted, so we're going to totally embrace that this is a haunted hotel to get people to come stay at this when it reopens. And that's totally what it feels like now. And I mean, I guess that's a marketing technique you can use, that this is a haunted hotel. Come stay at our haunted hotel in Los Angeles. And then the last one is we have Godzilla versus Kong coming out later this month, and the reason we're doing a versus episode here. So I watched Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. Nice. And
I guess I got a Godzilla movie to talk about too. So
nice.
Go ahead. No.
Yeah, this movie rules. I don't know if you guys have seen this one. I remember on TV as a kid, like I would always have, like in the background would be either James Bond movies always on TV or Godzilla movies. And I have no idea which ones of those I've ever watched, but I know they were always just kind of on TV when I was a kid. And so I kind of been trying to watch at least some of them before Godzilla versus Kong, and a lot of them on HBO Max. And this one is, and yeah, it's basically this, what I am assuming Godzilla versus Kong will take some inspiration from is basically this Godzilla is coming and is reemerged and start destroying these cities. And
no,
yeah,
really?
He does that. Except when he gets like shot or runs into buildings, his skin starts peeling apart and reveals this metallic skeleton underneath. So it's revealed pretty early on this isn't actually our Godzilla that we root for. It's an evil robot Godzilla who is created by this shape-shifting race of apes from space.
Naturally.
Yeah. I hope that, because you know Mechagodzilla is going to be in Godzilla versus Kong, and I hope that they keep that.
The shape-shifting apes from space. Yeah,
they have to. Andy Serkis has to play all of them.
I mean, these apes totally look like the 70s version of Planet of the Apes. And I'm like, all right, give me Andy Serkis and those apes as the ones that create Mechagodzilla then this time. What I think this is a great, like, if people are watching a Godzilla movie and they're saying I need more characters to root for and a better character story, like this has a great character story. It's like a spy espionage movie. It's about premonitions of the world ending. I mean, there's these spies that go up into the space station and try to infiltrate the shape-shifting monkey scientists. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's a Godzilla meets James Bond meets Planet of the Apes, and I'm in for all three of those combined.
That sounds incredible. Is this one of them that's on HBO Max?
Yes.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, totally awesome, and the fighting is a ton of fun. You know, the guys in the monster suits are incredible. Just seeing Godzilla team up with King Caesar is actually the other monster in this, so I think that's a Planet of the Apes reference. Maybe not intentionally, but it is at least in our minds now. And yeah, I love seeing those two team up and fight Mechagodzilla. It's a total blast.
That's awesome.
That rules.
But that's it. That's all I got.
All right. Okay. So it's been a month since I've been here. We've been here. I watched Get Out. I still don't love this movie. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I saw it at the State Theater. People were really into it. Really cool experience. This movie just doesn't do much for me. I rewatched.
Do you like Get Out or Us more?
Us.
I'm in that same boat.
Yeah.
I actually think I like Us more too. I think Get Out is maybe a better social commentary.
Yeah,
but
yes.
I think Us is a much better horror movie.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Mhm.
Yeah. I rewatched Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds remake, which is pretty horror adjacent. It's a pretty scary movie. It sort of taps into like post 9/11 terrorism and how we live our lives in fear and maybe not being able to stop an existential threat. And it's like watching it years later, it was pretty kind of horrific. And being a father, like watching Tom Cruise not only try to sort of reach his kids on an emotional level, but also protect one of them was quite harrowing to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I finally got to watch The Old Dark House that Casey has been raving about. It's on. It's currently on the Criterion channel, and
still on Shudder as well.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I'm not gonna say it's bad. It just wasn't for me. There, like, nothing happens in this movie. Like, literally nothing happens in this movie. However, there are. And maybe this is the point of the atmosphere is just dripping with like you're at home at night and there's a storm outside and like sort of like maybe your manifestations, maybe like your ideas of what could happen to you are manifested in this movie. I just needed a little bit more plot with this, but otherwise there's some really cool sequences of people just running through this old like mansion at night.
Perfect rainy night movie.
Yeah,
that's really the only way to watch.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I watched Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. Criterion has the Criterion channel has all the same movies that HBO Max has up. So if you have that, there's a bunch of Godzilla movies up there. So I think Mechagodzilla is one of them off the check. This is a lot of fun. It's insane. It's not quite as insane as 8 people from space, but there are some space people who come down to warn Earth of this monster that basically travels from planet to planet, destroying everything, and it's Ghidorah. And so there's like the government assassins trying to like kill this alien woman who's warning everybody. And then she is somehow like telepathically connecting with Mothra, who comes alive to help Godzilla fight Ghidorah, and it's just an insane movie. I watching it, I was like, okay, I need to dive into more of these Godzilla movies. Hopefully, Criterion keeps them up because it was a lot of fun. I have 3 more. I watched Willy's Wonderland, the new Nicolas Cage animatronic movie where he fights like a Chuck E. Cheese animatronics, and boy, this movie is really, really bad. This could have been like an all-timer, but I don't know how you have Nicolas Cage fight animatronic demons and he doesn't say a single word the entire movie. I don't understand how you don't have Nicolas Cage go full-blown like face off Nicolas Cage. Like he doesn't do anything except just sort of like look and kill, and then he dances at a pinball machine, and that's sort of about all he does. And it's just there's a group of teenagers who are there with him, and they're stuck in this place, and they're getting picked off one by one, and they're not very interesting at all to watch. And in a way, they're sort of the emotional grounding of the movie. And if they're not pulling you in, then the movie is just not going to take you, especially if you're just leaving Nicolas Cage to do his own thing, which is nothing. And so, boy, this is a really, really bad movie. The best part was Beth Grant as a sheriff of this small town. I love Beth Grant. I think she's just great in everything she does. And I'm just going to segue into the next movie with her. I saw Donnie Darko last night at the State Theater. I'm out on this movie. I don't like it. It's just like, so I really like Richard Kelly a lot. I think he's really talented. I think this is his best movie, but it doesn't do anything for me. Like it's has a great opening 10 or 15 minutes and has a great closing 10 or 15 minutes, but everything else in between, I'm just like it's putting me to sleep. Like it's so slow and so dull, and there's just nothing grabbing me except for like these musical montages at the beginning and the end. Otherwise, like I can't do this movie anymore. And if you like it, I don't mean to shit on it or anything. Like it's very important and has a lot of iconic photography and sequences, and I'll always ride hard for those, and Jakey G and Maggie G. But like I can't do this movie anymore. So I really like Beth Grant in this movie. She plays like a psychopathic Christian teacher who like is like, we have to burn these books. And so I kind of got a whole new meaning out of this.
About the children.
Yeah. I sort of got this whole like new appreciation for the movie in a way where it's sort of about establishment and like maybe established Christianity that's sort of trying to take down anything that challenges it. And I sort of saw that in a new light. And then I also saw it as sort of like the God-fearing people who will do anything to support a monster, sort of kind of like what happened from 2016 to 2020, which I thought was really interesting. But otherwise, like, I think I'm just going to walk away from the Donnie Darko universe the rest of my life. I just can't do it anymore.
See, I love Donnie Darko.
Yeah, I get it.
And I totally, but I also get why people don't.
Yeah.
You know, like it is a movie that doesn't work 100% of the time. I don't know. It's just the vibe of it. Gets me.
No, I get it. It has a certain quality to it.
Yeah. The first time I watched it was actually, weirdly enough, I was with my cousin, and his youth group used to sell like fireworks around the 4th of July. And they would set up a fireworks tent in the middle of a Walmart parking lot. And then they'd literally take shifts sleeping overnight in this tent, just like, we couldn't have been more than about 13, 14 years old, just alone in a Walmart parking lot, sleeping in a tent to guard fireworks. And I'd always go up to his place in Minnesota to do that. And one day we like walked into one night we were doing that. We walked into Walmart and I picked up Donnie Darko, and I had a little like portable DVD player that we were watching it. And like, I'm not gonna lie, it scared the hell out of us in that tent, like in the middle of the night. It's creepy, you know, like there's the bunny imagery and all that kind of stuff. Like it freaked me out. And I think that experience has kind of stuck with me, and it might be why I like that movie so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the vibe of it. I like that it draws you in, but I agree, like it doesn't narratively, it doesn't completely work all the time.
Yeah. I don't know, like, and I feel like there's some miscasting in the movie. Like Drew Barrymore is just like she's. I'm sorry, I'm sure she's a smart person in real life, but like I can't see her pulling off like this like woman who has a master's degree teaching like literature and reading Graham Greene and like, now what does this mean? Like, what was it? Like I can't see her doing that. So I think she was miscast. But you know, she produced the movie, so maybe like one of her caveats was like, I want to be in this, and so it is what it is. But so she's a little out of place in the movie, but yeah, I mean, it's just like a lot of uninteresting stuff in the movie that it's sort of like, it's like I just really get pulled out of it. So
yeah.
My final movie is Shadow in the Cloud, which I really I want to come in here and be like, you guys are gonna love this movie, but I don't know. Like, I thought it was an incredible ride. The ending really sucks, but it's an hour and like 17 minutes or an hour and 20 minutes, something like that. And I'm not going to talk too much about it because a lot of it is just like the less I say, the better it is. So basically, Chloe Grace Moretz plays this this woman who has a special package and a note from like a general or something saying like, I need to be on this plane. And one requirement is you cannot ever open my bag that I'm carrying with me. And so no one knows what's in the bag. You find out eventually, but
right.
So she gets in this plane and of course they're just kind of like, oh, who's this hot, like piece of ass who's on here? And so there's like this 10-minute sequence of these guys like trying to basically like really hitting on her and all this. And then they're like, well, where's she gonna sit? And they're like, well, we should put her in the lower gunner's seat below the plane where like the guy sits and shoots, other planes and stuff. And so she's like, well, I can't go down there because my package won't fit with me. So they're like, well, this is the only place for you. So she has to go down there, leave her package up in the pit with everybody else. And so she's down there. And the only way that she can talk to these guys is through headphones and a mic. And so for like 50 minutes, it's just her in this pit. And like all you hear is just everybody out there in the plane while she's below. And she starts seeing things that may or may not be there while they're dealing with like possible attacks on the plane by like the Japanese and stuff. And so so it's kind of like this, it's almost like this Cry Wolf type situation where like they don't believe what she is seeing, even though it might be there. And so she has to deal with them not believing her while like they're trying to figure out what might be in the package and whether they should open it while they're being attacked. And like for like 50 minutes, it's just Chloe Moretz that you're seeing. And then it's incredible. It's this pressure cooker that's constantly like just getting like more and more and more like compressed. And eventually like what she's experiencing, the people up there finally believe her, but then it's too late, obviously. But like, it's really, really cool. The ending is really bad, and that might sink the movie for some people, and maybe you too as well. It gets a little preachy with like, hear me, I'm a woman, I'm gonna roar. Like it has like this, it's a little too preachy in terms of that. Like I have no problem with like women are strong narrative, but like it's a little too much with that. But like the score is incredible. Like it's an 80s synth like almost like something out of Drive or Only God Forgives, where like this really like gnarly synthesizer, and it's that with Chloe stuck in this like pit while she's like dealing with
me really stoked for this.
Casey, like Elric Kane from the Close of the Dark pod, he's talked about how like it reminded him of what's the Crank movies. And I didn't get that. But like I think what he was getting at was like the further the movie goes along, the more and more intense and bonkers stuff gets. And then there's like this tonal shift about an hour into the movie, and you're like, you're either with it or you're out of it. And I was in it, but again, like I said, once it gets to a certain point, I don't want to tell you what happens, but like once it gets to a certain point, and you'll know what I'm talking about, it's kind of like, it's got a little too far. So this could have gone like the host route and maybe cut off like 15 minutes, and it would have been like a banger of a movie. But like, I don't want to like tell you not to watch it, because the first hour is just, it's gangbusters. Like it's really, really good stuff. It's really dumb, but it's a lot of fun, and Chloe's awesome in it. So,
yeah, I mean, she's great. Everything. Well,
I really want to like have a movie night at my house or in the theater room and like play something like with that and something else that's sort of akin to it, because I think you guys really love it. It's a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm stoked to watch it. I haven't had a chance to rent it yet, but yeah, ever since I heard it, because like when I first heard about this movie, it was more of like it was a Max Landis written thing, and that has a lot of controversy already having his name attached. And apparently it's very different than what he wrote. And either way, I like all the stuff he has written. I know me and Sam, I think I've talked about this before. Like, everything he's written, I've liked. The guy might be a jerk or whatever.
I mean, I disavow the person entirely, but I can't deny that I do enjoy his work.
Yeah.
You know, like.
And when I first heard about it, I'm like, I don't know, straight to video Chloe Grace Moretz. The poster, he's even kind of like just looks like a straight to video.
The poster's bad. Yeah.
And when I heard, Elric and Rebecca like praising this movie, I'm like, yeah, all right. I want to check this out now because I do like Chloe Grace Moretz, and hearing a premise like that just sounds bonkers wild, and hearing them compared to like Crank meets the the Twilight Zone almost is, I'm like, all right, give me that.
Yeah. And there's a part for me that maybe you guys might not be hit as hard with as I was, but there's a part where like I literally gasped and covered my mouth, and I was like, I could not breathe for like this entire small sequence of the movie. Like it is just like like on the edge of my seat. So I really hope you guys enjoy it because I had a blast with it.
We've established that since Leprechaun Back to the Hood scared me that I am a weenie and I get scared at
You just said Donnie Darko scared you too.
Yeah, Donnie Darko scared me too. I have always been a scaredy cat, and I think that's why I like horror so much, because I like being scared.
Yeah.
But like a lot of things scare me.
I almost like never rewatch movies like quickly after I watched it, but like I watched it and I was kind of like, I want to start this over again right now and watch it again because it was just, I wanted to be in that sort of like vibe longer. Yeah. And I wish
that was
they
took Snow Hollow for me.
Yeah. I wish they took different creative choices, but I can't really fault them for what they did. It's just, it's a bonkers movie. So
nice.
That's my last one.
Awesome. Sweet. I'm excited to check that movie out though.
Yeah, me too. That one and Psycho Gorman. I might have to rent those this weekend.
Yeah, God, I want to watch that one again too. Ironically, those two movies are like my top movies of the year so far: is Shadow McCloud and Psycho Gorman.
Nice.
If Psycho Gorman can last to the end of the year and be my number one, like,
God, I'm stoked to watch both of those.
Yeah, me too. Me too. All right. Does this mean we're moving on to the main course?
I am so hungry for this right now.
I've been waiting for this. I'm like really.
Honestly, main course.
I think I forgot. I forgot yours, Casey. So I genuinely don't know who.
Is this our Leprechaun thing?
Yeah. This is our Leprechaun.
I'm gonna go first because mine is super short, and I really didn't like think of a whole plot or anything. It's more of like I thought of somebody who could go against, and like it's like I said, it's pretty bad, but it's something that I would want to see. And then I know you guys will go longer, so I'll just get mine out of the way. In mine, Leprechaun fights Gingerdead Man. And Gingerdead Man is infamously voiced by Gary Busey.
Busey.
At least in the first one he is. I don't know if he's in the other ones or not. But yeah, I mean Gingerdead Man runs around. Have you guys seen Gingerdead Man at all?
Long time
Yeah,
ago,
it's super cool. Even like I've seen both of the sequels. Saturday Night Cleaver is incredible. But I
Fights Evil Bong.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Does he really?
Yeah, he does.
Oh my god, that's cool.
I've seen Passion of the Crust and
I love these sequel names.
And Saturday Night Cleaver. They go back in time to the 70s to like a roller disco and stuff. Yeah, so that's a good one. Check that one out. But like Gary Busey running around with a knife as a gingerbread man, like killing people. I like that idea of this invincible gingerbread man running around and stabbing people and shooting them. I don't know how he shoots them. He has like no fingers, but whatever. But I like the idea of two small creatures running around who somehow people have no idea how to kill them. And like Warwick Davis, throwing shade on Gingerdead Man. I want to see at least a movie or two of those guys going at it. Maybe like, what's his name? The Leprechaun is sort of like trying to figure out how to bake him longer or something to kill him. I don't know, but like I want to see that. And they're both still alive, so I don't know why it can't happen. I'm sure like is it Full Moon? I have no idea. Full Moon can't get on something like this. Get Full Moon and is it, I think it's Trimark does Leprechaun stuff. Or is it, it's
Lionsgate has it now.
Yeah, so I have no idea why they can't just toss them, $10,000 and yeah. because I really want like I'm pretty sure Gingerdead Man's only an hour long.
Yeah.
So
that means Charles Band has to have $10,000 to put into a movie.
He has a streaming service. He has to have.
He probably actually Gingerdead Man probably has a budget of not much more than that.
Yeah. I mean, if Thanksgiving has a budget of $6,000, you got to imagine that Gingerdead Man's around $6,000 to $10,000. So maybe more, but that's my pitch: is Gingerdead Man versus Leprechaun.
I'm sold on that. I would watch that. I would watch the hell out of that.
And then at the end, maybe like the winner is like reaching into like they're fighting in like a really messy like living room, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere like Evil Bong comes out and pulls him under like the sofa, kind of like Jason Goes to Hell, where like the Freddy glove pulls under Jason, like Evil Bong like grabs him and pulls him into the couch, and then it's like, oh shit, they're doing Evil Bong versus Gingerdead Man and Leprechaun in 10 years because like New Land's getting it or whatever. So yeah, I'm in.
I love it.
I'm glad one of us has the short versus short aspect. Yeah. Like that's the like if they ever were gonna do this, it's like that makes sense. You have to put someone short against Leprechaun.
Yeah, and that was where I initially went, was like a Leprechaun versus Chucky, but I was like, I don't know, that seems a little too obvious. If it's the first thing that I thought of,
that'd be fun too, though. I mean, like,
it would be a lot of fun.
Imagine all the smack talking they'd be doing to each other.
Yeah, it would be cool. It would be cool. Like, that's the thing. These versus movies, I don't know if there's a single one you could pitch that I wouldn't be totally on board with, just because they're so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
They're so much fun. I can go next.
What was your title, Blake?
Oh yeah,
God.
Or subtitle: Leprechaun versus Gingerdead Man.
Gingerdead Man.
I don't know.
Baked golden.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't. You go ahead. I'll think of something. Yeah.
Do you want me to go next, Casey?
Sure.
All right. So my crossover, the title is My Bloody Leprechaun. In the town of Valentine Bluffs.
You wrote a thing out for it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
A group of young miners, far removed from the Harry Warden legend or its aftermath 10 years later, find gold in the mine. They decide to keep it a secret, keeping it for themselves and awakening an ancient evil known as the Leprechaun. Later, as Valentine's Day approaches, the miners decide to give back to the town by throwing a Valentine's Day party, thus awakening Harry Warden from the grave to seek his revenge. While the sheriff attempts to solve the crimes and determine if Harry Warden is back, Harry finds that someone else is already killing his victims, the Leprechaun. So begins a battle of evil for the hearts of Valentine Bluffs, boiling down to an epic finale deep in the mines. Harry Warden versus Leprechaun. And I say this not just because I really dug our My Bloody Valentine episode, but because I was thinking about it and I'm like, you know what? Harry Warden is a very known slasher name, and yet he is not the main villain in either of his two movies. I want to see a movie where Harry Warden is actually the villain. And I think it would be perfect if he had a conflict of interest with Leprechaun and they, duped it out. Because I think too, like, Warwick Davis running around a mine would be terrifying. Like,
him riding in a minecart just itself is a perfect image.
What if like somebody found a pot of gold in there and then was like they put Harry Warden's arm in that pot of gold, and then out of that the Leprechaun grew. Like,
that would.
And then it's cool. Like, I don't know, duality of some kind.
You can totally have the mining for gold somewhere.
I'm not gonna lie, I want to watch My Bloody Valentine already again. I really do. Like, that was incredible watching that.
It was, it's a great movie.
If the State Theater of Sioux Falls is listening to the show, we would love to see My Bloody Valentine in the State Theater. It would totally slay.
Regardless of the month. Yes, I will show up and watch it in the middle of March or April.
Or September.
Or September. And any month in between. Yeah, man, that's mine. Harry Warden, I just think that they're, like with Freddy versus Jason, you've got one talker and one silent stalker, right? I didn't mean to rhyme there. That was kind of cool.
You're going full Leprechaun.
I'm going full Leprechaun. And I think that dynamic would work with My Bloody Leprechaun. You've got Harry Warden, who's not going to talk. He's just going to stalk around and kill people.
You should call it My Bloody Charms.
My Bloody Charms. That's better. That's better. Okay, so My Bloody Charms is the new title.
I like it.
I
didn't ask you yet. Who's directing? Charles Band?
Yeah. Or Craig Zoller. I don't know yet.
I think the only choice for mine is I'm sorry. He's created two of my favorite camp classics. I gotta go with Ronnie Yu on this. Ronnie Yu.
We're gonna recast Leprechaun because of his eyes.
Oh God, no, never mind. Ronnie Yu can't, because he would recast Warwick Davis. Because Warwick Davis has
with like Wee Man or something.
Yeah. Oh man,
Wee Man can take a fall.
Yeah.
Warwick can't. Some crap like that.
Yeah, man. That's my pitch. I would just love to see Leprechaun in a mine with Harry Warden.
Dude, yeah.
I don't know. The more I thought about it, the more I'm like, that would actually that would legit be a movie that I would buy tickets in advance to see.
In a way, it kind of harkens back to Leprechaun 4 when they're like on that planet and they find him in the cave.
Yeah.
And that guy is like pissing on whatever, and then Leprechaun goes through his pee into his dick and then comes out of his body. Sorry, spoilers. But
yeah,
it's in the first 5 minutes of the movie. But
it's fantastic.
But yeah, it kind of harkens back to them finding Leprechaun in that cave in space. So
yeah, exactly. Oh my God. I really want
this shit writes itself.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what are we doing?
That's why
what are we doing here?
Giving Hollywood all the ideas.
Yeah.
We really should. We should start writing some spec scripts.
Should.
See what happens.
My Bloody Charms.
My Bloody Charms.
Send it off to Lionsgate. See what they say. Is My Bloody Valentine Lionsgate?
Actually, yes.
Is it?
Yeah. The remake was. So that could actually happen too. That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
I'm in. Are we ready for mine?
I'm ready for the big finale, Casey.
I can't mine anything out of Sam's anymore.
All right. So the title of mine here, I'll start with that, is St. Paddy's Day of the Dead. So the year is 461, Ireland. This is where we open up. St. Patrick, who obviously the name of St. Paddy's Day comes from. He is the patron saint of the Irish people. He shared Christianity to. He basically brought it to Ireland, is what he's most known for. So in this version, he's doing that, and he's giving poor families, poor kids, gold coins. So he has all this gold coins like in a brown paper, in a brown sack, and gives each of the kids, a gold coin. He teaches this group of young kids that a 3-leaf clover, it represents the Holy Trinity. But if you find the magical 4-leaf clover, it holds magical properties. It is the kind of a next level type of thing. Because if you're looking at the Holy Trinity in Christianity, that's a big spiritual thing. But if you find a 4th one, that holds magical properties here on Earth. But while he's teaching these kids, obviously one of the kids is the Leprechaun in disguise. And he tells Patrick, a 4-leaf clover may provide you luck, but soon you'll be dead as fuck. So that's what he tells St. Patrick. Leprechaun pulls out a shillelagh and bludgeons St. Patrick to death and steals all of his gold coins. An angry mob then chases the Leprechaun back to his hillside home. He lives kind of in this grassy hill home, kind of looks like Hobbiton. That's basically where he lives. And they burn him down Frankenstein style. They burn down his home. So he's burned down to the ground. Nothing is left but ash. They place a 4-leaf clover over his ashes to trap him, which is one of the many ways they've trapped him in the movies is a 4-leaf clover to keep him at bay. Then one of the civilians digs out from under all the ashes the Necronomicon, the Book of the Dead.
Nice.
So flash forward to late, I don't know, like 2009, 2010 is kind of when this is going to be set. Modern day ish. Ash Williams is celebrating St. Patrick's Day sale at S-Mart. Shop Smart, shop S-Mart. S-Mart is on its last legs with a new superstore opening in his hometown. So basically, he's trying to bring the S-Mart back to its old glory of the 80s. And it's been over 10 years since his last incident with the Necronomicon and with any Deadites. So this is set after Army of Darkness. Ash then that night attends a St. Patty's Day party. He gets shit-faced because he's Ash. He ends up taking a redhead home on this night. Ash, being the bumbling idiot that he is, believes this is a good luck sign that he's bringing home a redheaded Irish girl home on St. Patrick's Day. So he then asks her if she wants to hear an Irish folk tale from the Book of the Dead, kind of trying to relate to this woman that he's trying to impress and swoon. He then reads of an evil leprechaun that stole from the poor and kept from himself. While reading this story to this woman, basically it awakens the leprechaun, and as Ash is having sex with this redheaded woman, leprechaun bursts out of her. While Ash believes believes she is climaxing, it is actually the leprechaun bursting out of her. So thus begins Ash versus Leprechaun. Tons of green gore in this movie. Like, I want the blood to just be straight green, like Leprechaun, like Clover's green. Basically, most of it takes place in Ash's apartment. That's where we get our first fight, and then most of the rest of the movie takes place at S-Mart. That's where we have our big climactic fight, is in the aisles of S-Mart. And it ends with basically Ash gets the gold coins from the leprechaun and uses that to bring the store back to its glory, until he reads from the Book of the Dead, trying to get rid of the leprechaun, and they both end up in some medieval times again. So we get our sequel set in medieval times.
I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool.
So St. Patty's Day of the Dead, directed by Adam Green.
Oh yeah, Green would be a good choice for that.
Yeah, Sam Raimi is the obvious choice, but I wanted someone new, and he's coming at this point. When I set this movie, he's coming right off of oh my gosh, off Hatchet. So has that goodwill with the fans there. So Adam Green's St. Patty's Day of the Dead.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I could totally see kind of similar, like akin to Ash and his hand, the fight between Ash and his hand in the in Evil Dead 2. You know, the leprechaun running around the apartment and disappearing, and him just needing to find it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And hearing leprechaun shit talking the whole time, driving him insane.
And like his little laugh, like echoing in the sound, like around you and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
And Ash just going mad because he can't find the little leprechaun running around. Yeah. Yeah. I would love to see this.
Oh man, these are all great pitches. I love them.
And again, I guess Leprechaun is a Deadite is what we take away from it. So everybody's a Deadite. That's not Ash. So
it was kind of funny too. Like when I was writing this, I kind of imagined Harry Warden as a Deadite, you know, like Jason Voorhees style, where it's just like, yeah, he keeps coming back because he's a Deadite. And that's just how we're going to explain it away.
It is an easy way to explain everybody coming back. Yeah. It's just, they read from the evil Book of the Dead.
Yeah.
They're unstoppable.
That's just what every slasher franchise needs to do now. Just have the Necronomicon in the background of a scene, or, you know, just some throwaway line about, oh yeah, they're a Deadite now or something.
Yeah, I would.
That they're part of the Cult of Thorn.
Should use that more.
That's what I'm gonna go with. Harry Warden isn't a Deadite. He's part of the Cult of Thorn. The cult of Thorn is controlling him until Valentine's Day is no more.
And then we bring in Silver Shamrock.
Yes.
And that's how Leprechaun can get in with the Silver Shamrock.
March movie, because I'm sorry, Halloween 3 is indeed a St. Patty's Day movie.
But it's set on Halloween.
Yes, but it's a St. Patty's movie too. It's a Halloween and St. Patty's Day movie. It's like Nightmare Before Christmas. You can watch it on both.
I'm never going to say no to watching Halloween 3.
Right?
It's true.
Steven, if you're listening to this.
Double feature.
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Oh, that would rule. Well, I guess, should we... Again, Blake's was Gingerdead Man versus Leprechaun. Sam's was
Warden versus Leprechaun. My Bloody Valentine versus Leprechaun.
My Bloody Charms.
My Bloody Charms.
Mine was Evil Dead versus Leprechaun. St. Patty's Day of the Dead. So.
Let's go. God, I love it.
Yeah, I guess if you're listening, let us know which one of those or all of them. I would like to see all of them. Like, I think all of them would fucking slap.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. I think we need to make sure Blake's happens though, because Blake's literally could happen for like
I think
10 grand or less.
If any of these would happen, I think Blake's is the most likely.
I just want an EP credit. That's all I want.
And then if you're listening to this, let us know who you want to see Leprechaun face off against.
Do you guys know actually that after Freddy vs. Jason, Candyman was the one they were pitching with Leprechaun?
I thought it was Wishmaster.
Wishmaster might have been in there too, but Candyman was pretty hard.
Oh, I did hear about that.
That Tony Todd and Warwick would be in it.
Yeah.
That's such a weird combo.
I don't think that one works.
I would still watch it though.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be honest, you put verses in any movie and two horror icons, like it could literally be, I don't know.
Lake Placid versus Anaconda, yeah.
Yeah. It could literally be something like that and I would watch it.
Sweet. I like all these.
Actually, now I want to watch Lake Placid versus Anaconda.
I actually have to watch that one.
Oh, you said it like it's a bad thing.
Yeah. You have to watch it.
Well,
I have to watch a really crappy B movie. Like crappy B movie.
I don't feel sorry for you. Sorry.
I don't, because I'll probably watch Lake Placid and Anaconda right before that too.
Both of which are amazing.
Yeah, they are. Should we move on to fan slashing? Will Smith.
Flana slashing.
Slashing. Fan slashing Will Smith into a horror movie.
All right, I can go first.
Sure.
Mine is not going to be very. I'm actually excited for mine, but I don't think it's very good. I came up with it on the car ride over here after spending an entire month thinking about it and coming up with nothing. So I went a step further with my Will Smith fan slash, and I'm casting the Will Smith trio: him, Jada Pinkett, and Jaden. You know what? We can cast Willow in there too. We're gonna put Willow in this
Stealing
movie.
my idea.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
What? Okay, I get.
I'm interested to see where you're going.
I'll go a different route. I'll go a different route than you.
No. Go with it, because I do want to hear your different route too, because I do have a different route with mine.
No, I meant I think I'll have a different route for the family than you do.
Okay.
Potentially. So it's a generational horror drama. Emphasis on the horror, less on the drama. Set around Van Helsing and Dracula. Will Smith plays Van Helsing. And instead of a male Dracula, it's Countess Dracula. And she's played by Jada Pinkett Smith. Because I don't know, like, did you guys ever watch Gotham?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, like, show is not great. Jada Pinkett Smith, great villain in that movie, or in that show. She is, the show itself, Jada Pinkett Smith is just, she's top notch. And I want to see more of her in that, like, scary villain type of role. So you've got Will Smith as Van Helsing, Jada Pinkett Smith as Countess Dracula, and curveball, both of them have a child. Willow is the younger Van Helsing. Jaden is the young Dracula who is going to take their... Essentially, they're going to train to take the place of their parent, right? And then since the brother sister, it's not a fall in love story. It's just a friendship, right? It's like they meet each other and they hit it off, and they almost have this like brother sister bond. It's
a Lion King 2 Simba's Pride.
Exactly. Yep, that's what I was thinking. Lion King 2. I just bought that on VHS too. I found it at Savers. Yeah, like essentially they do a Lion King 2 Simba's Pride where it's like they kind of start this like sibling ship where they realize that both of their parents are on this like divided by stuff that doesn't really matter, you know, like who's the real monster here? Well, both of them are at this point because they've just been engaged in this generations long battle that no one even really remembers how it started anymore. And, you know, there's monster mayhem and everything. And yeah, that's my Will Smith movie. Like there's monster mayhem, and suddenly like these kids are the ones that are like actually like bringing vampires and humanity together, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Hopeful ending.
And what's funny, I was this close to actually having Will Smith as Van Helsing in a movie too.
Oh, seriously?
When I was thinking of ideas, I'm like, oh, what kind of character could he be? I'm like, oh, Van Helsing would be cool.
That's so funny.
So again, Hollywood, if you're listening, if Will Smith, if you're listening,
Van Helsing.
Produce a Van Helsing movie.
I think he would actually kill it in a role like that.
Mm-hmm.
Have it more be
like as long as he comes in and says, "Welcome to Transylvania," and then punches someone.
Yeah,
I'm in.
He gets a original song with it too.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Transylvanian Shuffle or something.
Vicka Van Helsing, something like that.
Oh, it writes itself.
It does.
I love it.
Blake, what do you get?
Okay.
Or otherwise, I can go.
No, I got mine.
Mine's not good.
Yeah, neither is mine. Okay, so mine actually like isn't replacing anything in like a known property. It's a sequel to one of his movies. I'm gonna do a horror sequel to his movie Hancock.
Oh,
so in the first movie, he struggles with like alcoholism and like literally destroying a city. And I liked Hancock a lot because it was one of the first, if not the first, superhero movie that like sort of talked about like the cost, like the literal cost of what happens when these superheroes fight and like destroy a building or a highway system or whatever. And so my idea is sort of like it's in the vein of like Dr. Sleep, where it's about his alcoholism and how he has to like deal with the people he's killed, like collateral damage. Like, oh, he killed this guy, or he killed this villain, but in that whole like melee, he killed like 50 people who were on a bus or something like that. Mm-hmm. So it's about him sort of like wrestling with these demons, maybe literal, mostly figurative, in a way where like he has to confront them while like dealing with his like drinking problems, and he's got to fight somebody who maybe like comes back from his past or represents his past or something like that. Hell, you can get Mike Flanagan if you want to sort of do it. Maybe that's too on the nose, but that was my idea. It's like a horror sequel to Hancock where he has to deal with all of his demons.
That is awesome. As a fellow Hancock fan, which there are not many of us.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a lot of fun.
I love that movie and I love that idea. That's really cool.
Sweet. I think your guys' camera died, so I'm putting a picture of Will Smith, so I'm not by myself.
Yeah.
Look at him. Oh
gosh.
He's a good-looking man.
That jacket.
Mine is just a straight up we're doing a reboot here, and that's actually a movie they just rebooted, which they did Castle Freak, I think earlier this year, late last year, and I've not heard anything good about it, which is unfortunate because I do love the Stuart Gordon Castle Freak. So my pitch is Will Smith and family play the Castle Freak crew, taking over for Barbara Crampton. So she's going to get replaced by Jada Pinkett Smith. And we're going to also replace not Stuart Gordon. What's his name? The guy who plays the dad. He's in Reanimator.
Oh my!
Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah,
I can never remember Jeffrey Combs.
I kept wanting to say Herbert.
That's always what I want to say too. So he's basically playing the Jeffrey Combs role as the dad. Basically, in this version, he's going to play an alcoholic, recovering alcoholic, and he buys this house to kind of rekindle his relationship with his family. We can have both of the kids in this. That's fine with me. But it's straight up gory horror movie with the castle freak in it. Like, I would love to see the Smith family in that type of movie. Like, they all have this chemistry together already, 'cause that's already should be ingrained within their real life relationship with each other, while being a real family. And so they get thrown into this type of situation where there's a crazy monster creature living in their basement to this huge castle that they just bought. Hell, they could even just play Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith and all their kids. Like, they could just play themselves in this version. That's fine with me. Directed by Panos Cosmatos.
Oh yeah.
From Mandy fame. Gets to direct Will Smith and family. And Castle Freak.
That is a solid idea. I like that.
My other option was just leaving Barbara Crampton in the wife role. Because I think Will Smith and Barbara Crampton together would be a ton of fun.
God. Barbara Crampton. I need to see her. She has a new one playing at South by Southwest.
Yeah. Jacob's wife.
Yeah. I want to see that. I've heard good things. So,
all right.
That's dope.
I like it.
All right.
I like it a lot.
Be prepared for next month when we do Ben Stiller and Tom Cruise in a horror movie together. I'm so excited for that.
Why not? Why not? I'm already trying to think of ideas.
Me too. I just had an idea, but yeah, I can't wait.
Is that it? Is that all we got for this one?
I think so, man.
That's all we got.
Sweet. Should we throw out our plugs and kind of wrap it up here?
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
This podcast is on Anchor and everything else affiliated with Anchor. So Spotify, Apple, Google, pretty much wherever podcasts can be found, this show can be found there. This is on YouTube as well. If you want to see myself and a black screen because the other camera died, you can do so up on YouTube. Another place to watch this, and well, just listen to it if you'd rather just use YouTube to listen to your podcast. Yeah, besides that, I don't know if I don't know if I have anything else to plug. If you want to check out Backlot, we're doing Versus Month this entire month. And like I said, Lake Placid versus Anaconda will be our Patreon episode for this month. Yeah, and check out Sam's episode of Freddy versus Jason. We get fully into that movie, into the nitty gritty of Fred Krueger and Mr. Jason Voorhees.
Really explore the thematic depth of the juxtaposition of a talker and a silent stalker.
Yeah, it's the eternal battle of an introvert versus an extrovert.
It is, really.
It really is.
We touch on none of that in that episode. It was the first episode in a while that we touched on zero thematic elements.
This is NPR.
It was a lot of fun. I liked it.
It was.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun on that episode. So
you guys got any thing to plug throughout there where you can find you on the webs, interwebs?
You can find me at Lens on Film on Twitter and Instagram. And yeah, that's all. That's my personal plugs. So.
Please don't follow me on social media.
Yeah, just follow Sam instead.
Please.
He's doing awesome artwork.
Yeah, check out Sam's artwork. Please leave me alone.
Fully expecting Harry Warden and Leprechaun to appear together in a piece of art pretty soon.
I actually did start one today.
All right.
Can't wait for that.
Yep. Love it.
Can't wait.
Awesome.
All right.
So let's get this music going here. Yeah, there we go.
And we'll slash
They're
you later.
coming to get you.